Yeah, I send it to like John Mayer or someone I always send my music to and get his opinion on. I think he has an amazing opinion. I send everything to Camila.
As she sends her records to you?
Yeah. And then a couple of my friends, and that's it. I kind of keep the circle tight. I have a few opinions that I really trust off the bat, and then once I get those, I think it's up to the world to decide how they feel about it.
Lost in Japan, did you send that to John Mayer?
I did, yeah. He was super pumped about that one, actually.
Dude, the guitar on that song is pretty sick.
It is awesome. I was like, I'm very, very proud. As a musician, I'm probably most proud of that song.
Are you playing the instruments on that record?
I was playing some of the instruments, but we actually had an incredible guitar player. His name's Nate. He came in, started playing chords, and that's where the whole thing got inspired from, was from him. So I owe it to him. Thank you, Nate.
So just him playing guitar?
Yeah,
that's where it started.
Totally. I mean, he came in, just started playing guitar. We had like a little piano thing from the night before, and that song was we wrote that in like 40-50 minutes. It was really fast, and that's how I wrote Treat You Better, and it was that fast spark of like, I love this, keep rolling, and it was really fun.
Very cool.
Lost in Japan's getting a lot of Justin Timberlake comparisons. Was that the goal going into it?
Totally. I was listening to so much of old JT. Justified, like crazy. I still do, and yeah, so it was funny. I was Kings of Leon, and then I like jumped across the world to Justin Timberlake world. So yeah.
But there's funk to it. The vocals, when you go real high,
I'm out there.
It's nice.
It's new. I mean, there was a year of practicing and learning from the last song to now. So yeah.
Do you feel like you have to challenge yourself as a musician?
Yes, 100%. I think that's actually, I think playing it safe is what stops a lot of people from reaching their full potential. And like every time I create a song, I make it so that I stress about having to sing it live. If I'm not at the end of the day being like, how the hell am I going to sing this live? It's not a good song, To me personally, it has to have that thing that is difficult, that difficulty factor.
You take it seriously. I know you do a lot of vocal training before you go on stage.
I go hard. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much every day with my coach on it.
Eric Vitro, baby.
Eric Vitro, you know Eric.
Of course.
He's the man. If you don't know who Eric Vitro is, he's truly just like God-sent angel vocal coach. It's true.
He's awesome.
He's incredible.
In his red Tesla, living the best life.
He is truly.
He's so
doing
cool.
vocal lessons in the Tesla.
How'd you challenge yourself with this record?
I challenged myself because, I mean, all the falsetto and stuff was huge for me. Not only that, but I think just in terms of the way the music feels. Challenging myself not when it comes to live, but challenging myself to release something that I'm worried people will like. And I think it's those leaps that take you steps forward. You know what I mean? I think everybody who really gets further in their life has to take that leap of, I don't know what's going to happen. I love it, and like the best you can do is like just do it, go for it. And that's what I feel like I did.
Spanish on this album?
Spanish. There as of right now there isn't. I think I know what you're referring to though.
Camila said you called on her.
I did. I called her. I was writing a song one night. I must have been on like a crazy Spanish wave. Thought it was a great idea. The song didn't end up making the album. I'm sorry to everybody because I know they're still tweeting about that right now. So,
but is it finished? Is there a song with you speaking Spanish on it somewhere in the universe?
It's somewhere in the universe, but I'm not sure if the world will hear it. You might actually hear it on someone else's voice because I love the song so much it just didn't fit.
Are you okay with giving away records?
Absolutely. I write a lot of music that I don't think is necessarily for me. That would be for other artists.
And that's not hard for you?
No, I think actually there's something quite amazing about writing a song, and if it was successful with another artist, I think that would be a really cool accomplishment for me.
A couple months ago, you tweeted out a lyric, "Where were you in the morning, babe? You didn't leave your number for me."
I didn't tweet that. I think fans tweeted that.
Is that a lyric that's going to make it somewhere?
It is. It's in a song. I guess now that you know the kind of context of it. I accidentally leaked it. So how do you? I'm such an idiot. I leaked my own music. I was recording it, and it was the demo, and we were playing it, and listening back, and I went to send it to a group chat of my friends from home, and I put it on my story.
Classic.
45 seconds. It was up, and the fans got it.
By the way, like happens to everybody at one point where you think you're sending something privately and ends up going to the world.
Yeah, but
be careful with that. Do
only
not.
45 seconds.
Do not. Yeah, it was 45. It was literally up for 45 seconds,
and they got it.
Man, they're fast. It could have been up for 10, and they would have got it.
Is that about a one-night stand?
Yes, technically, yeah. But it's the backwards. Where were you in the morning?
Well,
you left me.
Yeah, you wanted them to stay.
Yeah, you didn't even leave your number for me. I'm not going to talk about it. It'll be out soon. You guys gotta hear it.
Is that reality based? Like, did that happen to you?
It did happen, but I don't want to talk about it because you're going to hear it.
Okay.
It's coming soon. Just wait. I promise.
Who is Lost in Japan about?
Lost in Japan is more of a dream world base. And I had a dream about this, kind of reality, and with the thought of somebody in mind. And then I kind of just went off that. I had this dream that I was like running around this country that I had no idea where it was, and then ended up naming it Lost in Japan.
Mm-hmm. You like Japan?
I love Japan. It's really cool there.
Good place?
Yeah, it's like no other place in the world.
Collaborations on this album?
There's a few.
Yeah?
There's definitely a few.
Well, you're probably not going to tell me. You're probably not going to tell me who.
No, I'm not.
So, what does it take, and what does an artist have to do to collaborate with you? Well, what are requirements?
Not much, really. Ask it now, and I'll be there. I think
Lies.
when it comes to I think when it comes to making music with like another artist, it's not like. It's just about vibe. Like if you meet an artist, like for instance, I was just about to say who's on the album. I almost messed up there. But yeah, it's about meeting that artist. And if you guys vibe together as a friend, it's usually, hey, what's up, man? What are you doing today? Oh, I'm in the studio. Cool. Can I stop by? It's not really about writing music. It's just about one day we got together and wrote this song. That was how the whole thing with Camila happened. It was backstage, and we were just vibing, and then the song happened. And I think that's when the best music comes.
That makes it easier, right? Mm-hmm. You don't really need to get to know somebody, and you're not forcing a relationship.
There's no pressure.
That's it.
Yeah.
I saw you on Charlie's Instagram Live.
Like a couple minutes ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, he's running late. Oh, he's with Charlie Puth.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I feel like the two of you would make great music together.
Yeah, I think we would. I think he's incredible. He when he commented about Lost in Japan, I was really, really happy because as a musician, he's like one of the best I know. Songwriters, truly incredible. So I really take his opinion to heart.
He has a really scientific approach when he makes a record,
he's
right?
He's a scientist. He has perfect pitch.
Perfect pitch. Yeah. Every song needs to be in a certain vocal range because that's the range that males and females can both sing at concerts.
Yep.
Like it's really precise.
I wish I could be that precise. I have no idea what I'm doing when I make music.
Clearly.
Well, something's working for you.
But you speak from the heart.
Yes.
And I think that obviously holds a lot of weight.
Totally. And always will. But he does. He's crazy. He'll be driving the car with him, and he'll hear like a car horn.
Oh my God!
Like someone will honk, and he'll be like, "Oh, that's a B flat."
Yeah,
he did
like,
that.
Shut
here.
up! Like, how am I even know that you're telling the truth?
Because you don't.
You don't.
You can be lying.
Oh yeah. That was a C.
I'm gonna start doing that.
When he was here, somebody dropped something in the hallway, and he stopped the interview. He was like, "That was a D."
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Yeah, you don't know. You could be lying. You really
making the whole thing up.
He's not though. That's the problem. He like can sing into like a tuner on his phone, and it will. Yeah, it's bad.
It's sick. And he keeps voice memos. That's how he documents his inspiration.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I think most people do that at this point. I have like 800 like in my phone right now. And so
some that have inspired this album.
Most of them, yeah. I mean, if you took my phone, you'd have the whole album.
What's your biggest strength in the studio?
My strengths?
Yeah.
I think my biggest strengths are self-criticism, and that's my biggest weakness at the same time. But that's what pushes me to make things great, and I think also at the same time what drives me crazy in the studio. Do you know what I mean? I'll do 100 takes of the vocal part, and then I'll go through them all and realize I got it on the second one. But there's this thing that makes me think I have to keep doing it again just for the reason of having to get the perfect take. But
I get it.
It's the process, you know?
And sometimes the not perfect take ends up being the perfect take.
It ends up being the perfect take. Exactly.
Which is, how do you know?
You don't. Yeah, that's like I recorded "Treat You Better" in a few takes, and the one on the record is the demo vocal, and that's how it is. All of my biggest songs are that. They're the first vocal I recorded.
Really?
Yeah, "Holding Me Back" and "Treat You Better" and "Stitches" is just first try.
Would you say this is the most personal body of work that you're about to release?
By so much. My last album and last songs, I was talking about myself, but in more of a vague way, and I just was like keeping things more up in the air. But this album, I get really specific, and I realized about halfway through that if I'm not using the lyric that makes it obvious what I'm talking about or who I'm talking about or what I mean, then I'm cheating myself. Because as a listener, I would much prefer this version. And it's like, why would I ever change it? Because of selfish reasons. I think as a musician, it's kind of your thing to have to put it all out there.
It's a part of the job.
It's a part of the thing.
So
yeah.
what have you gone through in this past year that inspired this album?
I mean, it's been a year of touring the world, and you know, like within the last year, I got to perform with Ed Sheeran, John Mayer, and like I was just met basically every single one of my idols, and went to so many concerts and experienced so many different types of music that I never thought I would before, and all these experiences like really kind of just changed my whole perspective. Yeah.
What motivates this idea of wanting to be more personal? Is it maturity? Because, I mean, dude, since your last album to this, you know, next body of work, you've lived a lot of life.
Yeah.
You know, since the beginning of your career to now.
A lot.
Like, really crucial years.
Huge, yeah.
For anybody.
Yeah.
You know, why was now the time to be more personal? Is it?
It is. I think it's a bit of maturity. Yeah, and it's also like I'm only going to be 19 once, and I want to document it, and I want to like look back and remember like how I was feeling when I made that music, and like I say, like if I don't. I'm just cheating myself. In 10 years, I'm going to wish that when I was 19, I was a little bit more personal, so I could have understood it a little better, you know?
And I don't mean to, I'm not saying you weren't all in before, but I think now you have a new meaning of all in. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you understand the responsibility of what it means to be a genuine artist.
I agree. I do. And this is my life, you know, for the past 4 years. This is all I've done, all I've thought about. That's the only way I want it to be. It is literally what you make it, and if you don't make it how you want it, then you're gonna just regret it. You know.
You know, I get goosebumps having this conversation because you know, making the internal decision to give your all to something and be 100% transparent and genuine. That is a scary decision. I made it here on the radio show.
Terrifying.
It's hard.
Very hard.
You question it
every day. I mean, that is the kind of thing that it is to be human, though, you know, and that's why people listen to you, and that's why people listen to my music and so many artists' music, and that's why, you know, it's funny when you imagine people listening to music, you kind of imagine them in like a big group at a party or something, and the truth is 90% of the time it's somebody on the train with their headphones in.
It's so personal and intimate. It's
so personal. It's the most personal thing in the world. It's this too. Yeah. People have headphones on by themselves, you know what I mean? They're not in a party in a room like 50 people are like, hey, listen to what he just said, you know what I mean?
You're
it's like
building a one-on-one relationship.
It's a relationship, and like, so imagine the way you would speak to somebody one-on-one. It's the same thing.
And there's responsibility with that.
Huge, yeah. It's being open and not like, you know, being black and white with everybody.
I cannot wait for the new album to come out. I know the details are secretive.
Very.
Are all the songs different sounds? Because you know you have a rock one now, you have an R&B one. What's the rest?
They vary. I mean, everything is cohesive in a way, but I definitely stretch. I stretch, and there's like some cool like 50s rock type feel. Things get like, you know, Daniel Caesar, like a little bit more like slow R&B type feeling.
Okay.
And then there's pop. There's like pop records and stuff that I love to write. So
how do you define pop? Is there a definition of it?
No, there wouldn't. There is no definition of pop. My thing about pop is repetitive, catchy melody, I think.
But that could be attached to any sort of sound.
A rock song or an indie record. It doesn't really matter. That's why sometimes like the indiest record is the biggest record of the year, you know? Which
is cool to see a lot of the time.
Yeah, which is usually my favorite records, and that's why I think if In My Blood works, it'll be my favorite record.
I think In My Blood is gonna work.
Hope so. I hope you're right,
dude. When I say like it felt like the song was like reaching out and like shaking me, it was like wake up.
Good.
It was just.
That's the reason we write it, man.
Oh, great. Acting. You want to get back? You want to keep challenging yourself outside of the music space?
Definitely. I mean, I would have started already. It's just a matter of timing. You know, I was making the music and then releasing it, and now I don't have the room in my mind to think of anything other than it right now. I'm just like so attached to it, and so I could imagine in about a year, maybe coming around a bit.
What about a musical one day? You want to challenge yourself vocally?
No, I would love. Yeah, talk about challenge. That's like insane. I would love to do that. That would be, I think, the hardest thing in the world to do and the most fun.
I'm gonna put it out into the universe. Dear Evan Hansen. Ben Platt is pretty great.
Ben Platt is amazing.
But you know, you never know.
That takes a whole another level of like self-understanding in musicals, because you have to like, they're doing like 2-3 shows a day sometimes.
8 shows a week.
8 shows a week.
The strength. Its diaphragm is going to be jacked.
Freaks me out.
Can you dance?
About that. Can I dance? I think I could if I wanted to, and if I had like someone, if I had someone want me. I'm scared of dancing.
Why?
Do you dance?
I mean, I've tried. I'll give it my best.
Are you kind of scared of doing it though in public?
Oh,
Like, would you just
no,
like?
no.
Oh, okay. Well, good for you.
I mean, everybody dance. I mean, everyone can dance.
yeah, everyone can.
Some
dance,
people are
but
better than others.
When you say dance, you mean like musical.
I mean, like, yeah, would you be good on stage dancing?
Like a
I think if
choreographed
someone
dance?
taught